Now in CSGO, I'm sure you guys are all aware that every skin has a float value. This number determines the condition of the skin, with Factory New being the best and Battle Scarred being the worst. In most skins, as this float value increases, one of two things will happen. Firstly, the pattern can scratch up and start to look very worn, or secondly, this pattern can stay relatively intact, but instead start to go a lot darker. But as you may be aware, there are some exceptions to this rule. Some skins actually look unique in these higher floats, coming in a range of different colours or featuring hidden patterns that just aren't visible in Factory New. So in today's video, I compiled every one of the coolest high float skins I could find, with many of these looking even better than their Factory New counterparts. So make sure to stick around to the end to not miss any of these, as some of these are great value options that you could use to add to your inventory. But let's start with a range of skins that change colour as the float increases. For demonstration purposes, I'll be showing you a 0 or lowest possible float option first, and then showing you a 100% or maximum possible float second, so you can really see the difference between the two skins. Let's kick it off with one of the more well-known ones, and this is any of the rust coat skins. The skin's available on most knives and a few guns too, but in their respective lowest floats, all of these skins appear very blue. But when you put them into very high float, you start to see these skins turn into a very browny red, a sort of typical rust colour. Another set of skins with a similar feature are the blue steels. In lower floats, these are, as the name suggests, blue, but in higher floats they can become very purple, to the point where they even become a fairly good budget option if you're looking to build a purple inventory and need a knife to go with it. Speaking of purple, we have quite a few skins that go very purple in the higher floats. One of these is the M4 Night Terror. It's quite grey in low float, but it's very purple in high float. This effect is also present on the P90 Neo Queen, to the point where the Battle Scarred version almost looks like a completely different skin altogether. And we have one more purple skin, which is the P2000 Imperial Dragon. While it's very orange in Factory New, Battle Scarred versions of this skin go very purple, and I'd argue look even cooler than the Factory New versions. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below. So that's purple done, but we also have a lot of skins that go green in higher floats. The first one of these being the R8 Bone Forged, which goes from a coppery sort of colour to very green in high float. Speaking of copper going green, we have the P250 Verdigris, which does this as well. In fact, the word verdigris actually describes the chemicals that turn copper green, and is also the reason that the Statue of Liberty in New York is green and not the reddy brown it was originally. Drop a like if you didn't know that. And rounding out our copper going green skins, we also have the Sword Off Copper, which does exactly the same thing. The R8 Llama Cannon is another skin that changes colour in high floats, with the original very blue skin going to a similar beige colour to match the handle. The M4 Mudspec from the Anubis collection goes very brown in high floats compared to its greyer appearance in Factory New, and similarly the AWP Black Nile, which is also from the Anubis collection, goes from having a silver Damascus pattern to a very brown Damascus pattern. And lastly, for our colour changing skins, we have the Scout Abyss, which is a very dark blue skin in Factory New, but goes to a very icy blue colour in Battle Scarred. Right, now it's time to go through a bunch of cool skins that reveal hidden features or patterns in the higher floats. The first one we'll be looking at is the Glock Ramesis Reach, which when in very high floats reveals a mummy's coffin on the top of the gun. Now this needs to be in super high float to be visible, but it is a very cool thing for them to have included in the skin. Next up, the P90 Death Grip is one of the coolest high float skins, with the hands that are visible in Factory New turning into bones in much higher floats. This is a really cool feature and helps give some meaning to this skin's name, as after all it is called the Death Grip. The Tech 9 Hades features a very similar idea, with the helmets that are visible in lower float becoming skulls as the gun starts to wear. I think it's very cool of the skin designers to include details like this into the game, and makes these light blue skins that would otherwise be quite boring a lot more interesting. The P90 features yet another skin in this video with the Off-World, where in higher floats a bunch of carvings on the guns start to be visible. This is also true for the Glock version of the skin, so it's nice that there's some consistency here. And the last skin that we'll be looking at in this video is the Mag 7 Firestarter. As the name hints, when in higher floats, this gun starts to appear a lot more burnt, and I think this animation from the CSGO Stash YouTube channel really helps illustrate just how cool this is as the gun increases in wear. So that is it for the video. Did I miss any? If so, drop them down in the comments below and I'll pin any that are cool. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.